Hello everybody and welcome to another NZ Wild Adventure. In this episode we are hunting on the west coast, probably looking for a deer or a chamois, a male one probably, preferably, because the young ones are probably still pretty small. The weather forecast is looking pretty good for the next 3 or 4 days, so I'll probably stay off for that long unless I catch something right at the start, in which case I have to go back because it's really hot unfortunately. Yeah, and it's 1500 meters elevation up the hill, so it's going to take me a while. But there's a bivvy about 2/3 of the way up, so we might get that far and just stop there. Up along that ridge. Into the forest and up the hill. It's so humid. It's just started raining a little bit, but pretty good progress. It's pretty hard going though. Well, I did about 750 meters vertical in 2.5 hours. It's now 5 o'clock, so I'll probably just stay at the biv, which is another 400 meters elevation up, rather than continue all the way up the ridge. If you carry around. Raining a little harder now. That looks sick. One final steep bit and the bivvy's just up there. Yeah, this looks awesome. Is this small? Very soggy. Nice little tarn for freshwater. Those tops look nice. Bought myself a new toy. Yeah, so that took a little longer than I was expecting. Did 1200 meters vertical over about 8 kilometers, but some parts are pretty steep. Very pleased to have this little bivvy here. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so an early night for me, I think. Beautiful day this morning. Just going to head up this ridge behind me. Get to the top since 300 meters elevation, so shouldn't take too long. And then still haven't seen the animals. I've had a good glass this morning, but hopefully there'll be something more on the other side, and we'll camp over there somewhere. Well, it's almost completely windless and it's hot. Probably be okay if there's a little bit of breeze, but at most like 1 kilometer per hour breeze. Not quite enough. That's right, it's quite pretty. Ridgeline's just over there. Looks like it's starting to clag in a little bit. Just gonna head along this ridge. Gonna go up there and then across there. Gonna glass as I go. And there's a hut maybe 4 kilometers away, so might head towards that. Gonna have to go around that, so I'm gonna go down here and up there. First bit of sign since I left the river. Just spotted the first animals of the trip. A couple of deer, not far, maybe 400 meters below me. Sort of bedded down inside a creek, which is interesting. But yeah, sort of good to decide if I want to shoot them now or not, because it's pretty hot and I don't want to repeat of last time. And if I'm going to do a loop like I was thinking, like down that valley, probably a couple of days away from the car. So it looks like a pretty straightforward stalk down to about 90 meters away from them, so I'll go directly down the hill and then there's a little ridge just above them, so, and then I'll try to get some footage of them from 90 meters, and if I can do that and shoot one, then I'll shoot one, but if I do that and they run away, then that's right, and I'll go that way. If I do get one, I'll go that way. Well, they've just stood up, so they're only 300 meters away, but that's a little far too big for me. But it makes the stalk a little harder, because they're much more visible now. So they're down there, so I'm just going to head around the side of the ridge, down that way, sort of maybe onto those rocks. The wind's going that way. Awesome, so that's a deer down at 180 metres. Much better than last time. Pretty sure it's right in the shoulder, or just behind the shoulder or something. I'll butcher him up and head it down, all the way down to the flats where there's a hot pool. So if I can get there by tonight, I'd be pretty happy. And then walk out the next day. The other deer disappeared down there, but he's the one that I shot is just down here. And then I have to sidle all the way past there. There's a ridge over there to go down into this valley and out. Well, it looks like I won't need the camo anymore. It's hot. Here he is. Long shot. Just strapping as velvet. And those are some ugly spikes. May as well try the boots, socks and feet out. So I got the deer butchered up. It's now 3:15. Got all 4 legs in the back stakes. So now I'm just going to go back to the backpack and saddle along until I find a creek so I can put the meat in the creek so that it can cool down. Because there's just so many flies, it's ridiculous. Time for a bit of lunch. Some honey and peanut butter and some cheese. Down into this gorge, up the other side and over there. It's very bluffy, but that's right. Making slow progress, but we'll, if we don't make it that far, we'll just set the tent up somewhere. Cut my pub a little bit. It's kind of slippery down there. It looks much better up here. Visibility about 20 metres. Take away 10 for the glasses. It was super steep in places back there. Right, it's 6:30. Made it to some Tardens. I'm pooped, so I won't head all the way down to the valley today. Although I could probably make it, I don't want to. So I'll head down tomorrow and probably head all the way out. Maybe have a hot pool on there fast. But I can cool the meat down in the tarns here. And yeah, I've got the tent and all supplies and stuff. So should be right. But yeah, that was very difficult. It was very steep and I couldn't really see far enough to plan anything, so I kept getting bluffed out. So I had to go up and down and up and down and up and down. But that's right. Made it here, which is nice. Got the tent set up and the meat is cooling. So I just have some dinner and get in the tent and go to sleep. What sort of trip would it be without some all sorts? It's actually only my second time hunting on the west coast. Last time was a couple of years ago. We got a couple tar, but certainly didn't disappoint this time. It's beautiful. But yeah, had a good feed. Now I'm just gonna get in bed and then try to get up a bit earlier tomorrow because tomorrow's gonna be a big one. About 1,200 meters elevation down over maybe 12 kilometers, and then I've got to hitch back to the car and then drive back to Christchurch. Oh, got up nice and early. It's now 7:30, so just gonna pick up and head out after some breakfast. It's sort of mostly cloudy today. I don't think the sun's gonna come out anytime soon, so I'll just head down the ridge to the hut. It's another almost completely windless day and I'm hot already, even though it's like still not very warm. It's just no breeze at all. Looks like we're on the right track. Just heading into the bush. Now it's steep downhill. Really steep down the hill, but I can see the hut that I'm going for. And then there's a bridge across the river there. This tussock in flax is wet and it's pretty steep, so it's pretty slippery. But we're probably halfway down the hill, so not too bad. Nearly down onto the flats. That was ultra steep. It was pretty grueling actually. Well, it became flat. I let my guard down. I just slipped on my ass. Twisted my ankle a little bit, but I think it's okay. But no more filming till the flats. Made it to the hut. Took 3 hours, so definitely the right choice to stay up in the tops last night. So there's a hot pool probably about 10 minutes away, so I'll just go have a dip and then continue down the valley. Dang, that looks nice. That is lovely. Could have done with one of these last night. It's just the perfect temperature. Look at this green stuff. That was awesome. It's now about 12:30, so I'm just going to head out. So I've just picked up all the gear and now it's 8 kilometers out to the road end, down about 350 meters, and then I'll try to hitchhike back to the car. Well, got to the road, took 5 hours. So just gonna walk 2 kilometers until there's more of a main road. Hopefully there's a few cars there. Maybe it'll pick me up. But yeah, it was a super cool trip. I really enjoyed it. It was super hard. I wasn't really expecting that. I think I did about 1800 meters vertical in total. Bit of up and down, quite bluffy in places, and it was really slippery and really steep. But other than that, it was pretty cool. Pretty cool second trip on the west coast. But then I walked about 7 kilometers on the road before a really nice guy picked me up and brought me all the way back to my car. So now I'm just going to go back and pick up the meat and then head back to Christchurch. It's 4 hours. If you enjoyed this episode, please like the video and subscribe if you feel like it, and I will see you next time. And also because the meat sort of just puts the time up. And also because of the meat, because the heat sort of just puts the time limit. And also because of the meat, because the heat sort of puts the time limit on everything.